What's up, everybody? This is your boy DC Black coming to you yet again with another movie review. Now, you gotta definitely excuse my background, because I am moving, so you know, packing and things like that. But let's get to this movie review. And just so happens, as you can see, I am reviewing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I don't even know where to get started with this. I don't even know where to get started with this movie because this movie, oh man, this movie went from like 0 to 1,000 so fast. Like it went from a zero. It shifted so fast that I was like, whoa, like I wasn't prepared, like at all. I wasn't prepared. Um, This is made by, of course, Quentin Tarantino, as you can clearly see. It was starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie. And this movie is kind of based off of. This is kind of based off of what the the situation with Charles Manson. I'll just put it like that. It's kind of based off of that a little bit, but it's not. So when this movie was originally pitched, it was pitched that Quentin Tarantino was going to do a movie about Charles Manson murders. This movie really don't have much to do with that. Mainly, this movie focuses on Leonardo DiCaprio's character of Rick Dalton and Brad Pitt's character of Clive Booth. Clive Booth um, is the stunt double for Rick Dalton. He plays, and I want to. This is not. I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but I don't think this movie. People kind of are focusing on the ending of it. Excuse me. They kind of focus on the ending of this movie and what happened, and not taking the movie as a whole, because the ending was just so shocking that you kind of just everything else kind of just glazes over. But I don't think that's kind of fair to disregard that. But this movie here is truly basically telling a story about Hollywood. There's a reason why the name of this movie is called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that's because they're essentially Quentin Tarantino is essentially telling the story of Hollywood. He's telling the story about actors, and the things that kind of went on in Hollywood during this time period. Um, we see kind of the things that Leonardo DiCaprio's character goes through, and we get the classic flashback moments in Quentin Tarantino movies. But I will say honestly, like his character, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, was perfect. Like I didn't realize, like I was telling me and my wife went to go see it, and I was explaining to her like, wow, I really didn't realize how good of an actor Leonardo DiCaprio really is. Like he's really good. Um, and I was just really I was impressed, especially like the one scene that he has in. There's one scene that he has in, two scenes actually, that happens in this movie where I'm really impressed by what happens, or what his character does in the dialogue and things like that. Um, this movie was impressive. I was thoroughly shocked. I was thoroughly shocked at how much I really enjoyed this movie. Um, Even like Brad Pitt's character, like I really enjoyed him. I really enjoyed like the journey that he goes on this story in this movie. Margot Robbie's character, she plays the real life actress Sharon Tate, and I'm not gonna kind of go into what happens with Sharon Tate because it's really dark, and I don't feel like going through that or talking about that really. But if you want to know about it, Google it. But Sharon Tate, but her playing Sharon Tate, it was weird because if you Google what Sharon Tate really looks like, they even actually showed the real life actress in this movie, because she is. There's a point in the movie where they show clips from the actual movie she played in. You really start seeing the resemblance between Margot Robbie and Sharon Tate as both the person that did the makeup, the costume design, and things like that really captured the essence of Sharon Tate, and she looks a lot like she started looking like her in some cases, and I was like, whoa, that was kind of scary to see that she starts acting like looking like the actress. Um, there's a lot of other different actors, that big name actors that show up in the movie that I'm not gonna really go over, not gonna really talk about. But a lot of people that played in some of the Quentin Tarantino movies show up in this movie, as well as some other actors as well that are long since passed. They show up and people play them in this movie here. But really, what this story is about is, in a sense, is basically in its essence, it's like a lot of Quentin Tarantino stories are about are revenge stories. You have that in there, but this story really was ultimately about Hollywood and just the stuff during the late 60s to going into the 70s, what was really kind of going on in Hollywood, what the life was like, what the life of an actor is really like. I think that for me, in my opinion, that's what I kind of got from the story, is his commentary on Hollywood and kind of showing, like, what happens to an actor that unfortunately is past their prime, and kind of what kind of goes on with that and versus an actor that got their chance and basically becoming a has-been versus a person that never really got their chance, and the one shot they did have, he blew it. But I like that. Now the Charles Manson stuff, yes, is in here. It's the moments you see stuff kind of like littered throughout a little bit, but there's only two real major moments: the ending and then like the middle part of this movie. Um, in my opinion, to be honest with you, I personally feel like they could have been taken out, and I would have probably liked this movie all the same. Um, I don't think like the ending was just nuts. I don't think that was needed necessarily, in my opinion. I think it was put in there just. I think what he had was fine, and I would have liked that meta commentary on Hollywood much better than the journey that was taken with the Manson stuff, the Charles Manson stuff. I personally didn't care for it just because it was just like I like where you were going before, and the fact that you kind of going this route just to do classic Quentin Tarantino stuff. I'm like, you could. I kind of was feeling the. I was feeling it already, but you kind of just went there, and I'm like, oh my god, all right. I just wasn't expecting that. Talk about how this movie was shot, right? So there's this one moment where Brad is this one moment where Brad where it shows Brad Pitt and he has this scene with his car. When I say that was the most amazing shot in this, that was my favorite shot in this movie of him driving the car. I thought that was so freaking cool. Like I love just like the how it was like the camera caught him driving the car in a lot of cases, and it was like it looked really cool. Him going through Hollywood, them shooting, because of course this all was shot in Hollywood, but it was like as if you stepped into 1969, late 60s and then to the early 70s, like when you saw the streets and everything like that and the stores and everything. I saw a classic Taco Bell sign and I was like, oh shoot, that's what Taco Bell sign used to look like. Oh, that's terrible. But I saw that and I was like, dang, that was pretty cool. But it was cool, like from a person that knows nothing about this period to be, taken back and put into that time period. Um, I feel like like I said, I feel like Margot Robbie's character was pointless. I feel like the Sharon Tate stuff was not needed. They definitely zigged with it where they were supposed to zag. They zigged, and it if you know anything about what happened to Sharon Tate, definitely don't spoil it down below. But things don't go according to what history says. History dictates it goes. And I think that was kind of Quentin Tarantino's way of putting the revenge stuff into the story. Because I mean, if you watch the movie at first, there's no revenge plot, but when you include that, then there's you get classic Quentin Tarantino stuff. Um, I love the way it was shot. I like the pacing of. In my opinion, I did like the pacing of it, just because like it was like a really slow build, and I like a lot of the shots. The only one of the few things I will say I didn't like was, and maybe because I didn't get all the references because I wasn't born during that period, but like some of the references they had of the different shows, as well as some of the actors, some of the characters that were actors, I didn't understand really because I just don't really know that much about the actors or the dirt, the Hollywood dirt of it all. I didn't like what they did to Bruce Lee in this movie. Like I thought that was trash. Like there's no way possible. There's no way anybody, and I mean anybody, is giving hands to Bruce Lee and they're just a stunt double. There's no way possible. I don't care. Like there's no way possible. Like Bruce Lee, I would say is probably one of the greatest fighters this planet has ever seen. And he's not going. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that he caught those hands from just an average Joe down the street. Like what? Like this is freaking Bruce Lee. Come on now. I didn't like also how the actor that was playing Bruce Lee was acting like Bruce Lee. I was just like, no, like what is this? It seemed almost borderline kind of racist to me. They definitely and that's the thing. Like that's the thing why I can't necessarily fault the movie for that because this was during the 60s and 70s. So I was just like, I mean, you kind of got those racist elements. I mean, even some of the titles for some of the movies of that period that Leonardo DiCaprio's character was in, one of them was actually really racist. But that was that was the time period. You got those a lot of those racist film titles and things like that. You also started getting the black exploitation films and all that. You was getting the black exploitation films and all that stuff. So during this period, of course, like that's kind of what you will be getting. But like I said, all in all, like I liked the movie. I didn't like I said the Charles Manson stuff. I really didn't care for. Like I think it was just not needed. I was enjoying the movie just fine without it. So for that, if I was to grade this movie, I would probably grade it a minus, because I really enjoyed the movie. Like there were some parts that was actually really funny. Um, Also because of the ending, like I would really be cautious with who you go see this movie with, because the ending is just such a shock, and so crazy. Just be careful about who you take to go see this movie with. Um, yeah, like when Quentin Tarantino is going for rated R, he's basically he's going to try to hit the ball out the park, and he's going to push the envelope. But yeah, this movie plus with the content of what happened with Sharon Tate and Charles Manson stuff, I just would rather that not have been touched. But yeah, I'll give it like an A minus. Like I don't. Some people have beef with this movie, saying like it's not really that good. I mean, I liked it. Like I didn't really see no beef with it at all. Like I gave it an A minus. Is it better than, in my opinion, Kill Bill? Absolutely not. I recently watched Hateful Eight. I don't think this is better than Hateful Eight either. I think Hateful Eight was really good just as a story. Like that, the craziness happened at the end, happened like kind of littered throughout, but Hateful Eight was really good, really good. But yeah, that's why I rate this movie. I would give it an A minus. But if you guys like what you like this, if you guys like what you've seen here, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring that bell for all the other content, for all new content. I'm going also. I just watched recently the Batman Hush animated movie. I'm going to be reviewing that as well because I really like that movie too, and I do want to talk about that. So I will go ahead and yeah, like with that being said, I will see you when I see you. Peace. Oh, and also don't forget to leave a comment down below. Thank you. Bye.